A woman has allegedly blown almost 5 times the legal alcohol limit after crashing into 3 parked cars at Summerhill in Sydney. She was one of several drivers who have returned a high range reading since police launched Operation Safe Arrival on December 15. 35 people have been charged with drink driving in the past 10 days. Christmas Day at Guatemala in the Royal National Park has almost ended in tragedy for a young girl. The 7-year-old was pulled from a lagoon after nearly drowning. The ambulance helicopter was called, but she was taken to St George Hospital by road in a stable condition. For many, Christmas is a day to get the family around the table for a big traditional lunch. But not for everyone has a home to go to, and that's where charities and an army of volunteers step in to provide the festive cheer.
Under a marquee in Ashfield, Sydney's biggest Christmas lunch, where Santa's elves wear green t-shirts and hand out food, gifts and friendship.
What would it be like if you didn't have that?
I'll just be alone and I won't have any Christmas.
Bill Cruz and the Exodus Foundation have been feeding Sydney's poor and homeless on Christmas Day for 32 years. Today they served 3,000 hot lunches, but offered so much more than just a meal.
So many people in our society are one pay packet away from catastrophe today. So that anything we can do to hold people and families and individuals together, we've got to do.
The Prime Minister spent Christmas the way he does every year.
One lemon or 2?
Just one.
Plating up prawns, not in the lodge, but at the Wayside Chapel in the heart of King's Cross.
It's practical love, it's unconditional love, it's really what Christmas should be all about.
His waiting skills might have been put to the test, but the art of the selfie requires no Christmas luck for a politician.
First time I ever shook hands with a Prime Minister, and Malcolm was really good.
But at this inner city street party, even the Prime Minister was outdone by the man in red.
Merry Christmas, ho ho ho. The music, the food, the volunteers. What could be more in the Christmas spirit than this? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. A great day.
It's why Alan keeps coming back.
I'm an ex-street person myself. I lived on the streets as a kid, and I got myself back together, and I just get back here.
I've got no family, but I consider this my family. I come here every Christmas because it's my family.
This is Nikki's first year as a volunteer and her first Christmas without her son Christopher, who lost his battle with drugs in September.
It's just a really difficult time. I'm bordering on tears all day today, but it just makes me so happy to see everyone working together and doing something for other people. One thing about my son is he showed absolute kindness.
And kindness is a gift. It costs us nothing to share this Christmas. Jane Azapati, NBN News.
Home was at the heart of the Queen's Christmas Day message as Her Majesty reflected on the terror attacks and tragedies to hit the UK this year.
There is a timeless simplicity to the pull of home. For many, the idea of home reaches beyond a physical building to hometown or city. This Christmas, I think of London and Manchester, whose powerful identities shone through over the past 12 months in the face of appalling attacks. Unique sense of humour.
The Queen also paid tribute to her husband, Prince Philip, praising his support and unique sense of humour. From tear-jerking tales to big-budget blockbusters, Britain's Christmas advertisements are a multi-billion-dollar business. The festive season doesn't truly get underway in the UK until the biggest retailers have aired their ads, and they're spending more than ever.
From a high-tech North Pole to a lovable bear, these Christmas-themed ads help put cheer in the air. It's a UK tradition that Mum, Dad and the kids will sit down to these ads that cost millions of quid.
In Q4 in 2017, £6 billion will be spent on advertising in the UK.
That's $10 billion Australian industry-wide. Among this year's releases is the story of Kevin the Carrot, who throws himself in the path of a wayward pea to save the love of his life.
I think I just peed myself.
The ad for department store Marks & Spencer stars Paddington Bear, who mistakes a Christmas Eve burglar for
Santa!
The faux pas leads Paddington to teach his new friend a Christmas lesson by returning all the stolen presents. But not all lads have received the seasonal blessing. Retailer John Lewis has been monstered for its tale of friendship between a boy and the creature under the bed.
Retailers clearly put up a lot of gold pushing frankincense, myrrh and other gifts onto consumers at Christmas, but the ad association says they make back 8 times that amount in revenue.
The association has surveyed viewers about the impact of these seasonal sales tactics.
Some of us Brits are even losing our stiff upper lips over it. Half of us say in the survey that we'll cry over Christmas ads.
And though it is all in the name of big business, it's okay to smile, for it's Christmas! In London, Seb Costello, NBN News.
Ahead in the news, a critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin gathers election support, and 200 skiers rescued from a ski lift in the French Alps.
It's trending high buys over the Amadas and their smashing price. I saw wide while stocks last. The Samsung 55-inch UHD TV, $1,000 off. That's nuts. An LG 55-inch OLED UHD TV, $500 off. And an LG 75-inch UHD TV, smash, $1,200 off. JB, you've done it again.
Sure, you could fall for sales tricks like this, but look, they won't beat the great value at Freedom. With 5,000 prices dropped for good, this is better than a sale. This is price drop at Freedom.
Look around. As the favourites come out, it begins. Working as a dream team. Nice. The flirt. Classic. Cadbury favourites. Everyone gets their favourites. Go to Macca's drive-thru. Go for a classic Big Mac. Or go bacon. Go lettuce. Go tomato. Go the new Big Mac BLT. Go now. It won't last. Go full summer with Macca's.
It starts Boxing Day. Domain's half-yearly big deals with a big 60 months interest free. Too big to miss. It's the one you've been waiting for. Half-yearly big deals plus 60 months interest free. Starts 8 a.m. Boxing Day at Domain.
Bomb competition is BCF and fun. Bomb competition is BCF and fun.
Say see ya, Santa, and hello to the BCFing Boxing Day sale. Club members get 20% off all fishing rods, all hard-body lures 20% off, and all Plano tackle bags and boxes take 25% off. All over it.
Cause button camping fishing is BCF and fun. BCF and fun. Hey!
It's finally here. Focus on Furniture's huge Boxing Day sale. Save hundreds on lounges. Up to 30% off beds and mattresses. Up to 15% off dining. Plus many more savings store-wide. Focus on Furniture's huge Boxing Day sale. On now. What would you like to pay for your room tonight? $150, $120, or $99. It's the same room with the same service, just different prices. It's really up to you. Well, nobody ever asks you this at the hotel reception, do they? But this is exactly what Trivago does for you. Trivago often shows you the price if you book directly with the hotel, as well as prices from more than 200 different websites. Trivago just compares. The choice is up to you. Hotel, Trivago. Stop! Spotlight's biggest sale ever starts 8 a.m. tomorrow. 40% off all Manchester. That's all sheets, pillows, towels, pillow covers and more. 40% off. Exclusions apply. Spotlight's biggest sale ever starts 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Vladimir Putin critic Alexei Navalny has cleared the first hurdle in his bid to stand against the Russian president in next year's election. The politician is a fierce opponent of Mr. Putin, who is widely expected to be re-elected in March. Navalny has won enough support to initiate a presidential bid, but electoral authorities previously ruled him ineligible to run. Guatemala is set to move its embassy in Israel to Tel Aviv from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. It comes after US President Donald Trump's widely condemned move to recognise Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Guatemala was one of only 7 countries to vote against the United Nations, urging America to reverse its decision. Bad weather could be to blame for a Christmas Eve plane crash, which has killed 4 family members in the US. A family friend also died as the aircraft came down during heavy fog in Florida.
Investigators sift through the light plane's crumpled wreckage at the end of the runway, where it crashed after trying to take off from a Florida airport.
We do have an aircraft on the ground. It's on fire this time. We're extinguishing the fire.
On board, 5 people. 4 were members of the same family. Pilot, 70-year-old John Shannon, his 2 daughters, son-in-law and a family friend all perished.
From all indications, the plane was in the air and came back to the ground. And no, there was no chance of anybody surviving.
Investigators believe bad weather played a role. The airport was covered in a thick blanket of fog when the Cessna attempted takeoff.
I have viewed a video clip that was taken of him taking off, and you could not even see the aircraft on the field for the fog. I talked to my chief pilot, and I said, is there any way a small aircraft should have been taking off in this weather? And he told me, absolutely not.
Bad weather is blanketing much of the United States, with millions expected to get a white Christmas. Some areas are expecting 30 centimetres of snow. Others have had that already. The icy conditions stretch from coast to coast. Even traditionally mild cities like Portland have had snowfall, making Christmas travel extra challenging. In the United States, Ebony Cavallaro, NBN News.
Video from a firefighter's body cam has shown the conditions crews faced as a deadly fire tore through a shopping centre in the Philippines. 37 people were killed. Many were employees who became trapped on the top floor. Up to 200 skiers have been rescued after becoming stranded inside broken-down gondolas in the French Alps. Crews at the resort used helicopters and ropes to lower workers to those trapped inside. It's known for its rooftop bars and exclusive clubs, but Los Angeles' nightlife wasn't always so glamorous. Forced underground by prohibition, the American city's drinking dens were linked by a series of stairways and tunnels. Now the speakeasies and their hidden passageways are the focus of a new tour, with several bars still believed to be undiscovered.
This is no ordinary city tour that Cindy Schwartzstein is leading through the historic part of Los Angeles.
We're going to cross the street right here to the right as well.
We're not up here on the street much longer. Cindy's is an underground tour, and down we go.
Watch your step. This is obviously the original stairs for the speakeasy.
Under once what was a piano shop, we find a secret drinking place for Angelinos in the 1920s. And a few remnants, including the wall murals, still here more than 90 years on. Back then, reformers and religious groups convinced Congress to push through a law banning the drinking of alcohol right across America. But all it did was quite literally force the drinkers underground. Illegal bars or speakeasies sprung up everywhere, and the locals found many ingenious ways to get there to get a whiskey or two.
Right through here was the hotel, and the tunnel would come through the hotel, and then this would be an entrance where they would actually come in through that tunnel entrance.
So this is where the kitchen was, and
historian and writer Sandy Hemmerlein.
Dancing, drinking, music, but very soft, because you had to speak easy so that the cops that weren't in on it, the cops that weren't here drinking themselves, wouldn't find you out.
Not surprisingly, the America-wide ban on booze really didn't work out at all, and people found all sorts of ways and places to drink.